welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. My name is Mickey if you're new around here. Today I'm going to be making a couple different things. We're going to make some pizza sauce. First of all, I have a bunch of tomatoes in the freezer that my dad gave me at the end of the season and I couldn't get them processed. So I'm going to use them now to make my pizza sauce. And then I'm going to fry up some Italian sausage for Christmas Day. We're going to have homemade pizza for lunch on Christmas Day, and then we're having a traditional dinner later in the evening at my sister's. And then I'm also going to make some sausage gravy because for breakfast on Christmas Day, we're going to have, as part of our breakfast, we're going to have biscuits and gravy. My biscuits are already made and in the freezer, so I want to make sure that I've got the gravy ready so that we can spend Christmas Day really just relaxing and enjoying the kids, enjoying their gifts. All right, so we're going to start with the pizza sauce.
So all I did was just put all of my frozen tomatoes into this big roasting pan, and I turned it on, and I did put a little bit of water in it so that the tomatoes did not stick to the bottom and scorch. And then I'm just turning them as they start cooking down so that I can get them all down into the heat and starting to warm up and thaw.
So the tomatoes now are starting to really cook down. I don't think there's any ice left in here. I just checked it. All right, so you saw when I first started, the pan was very full. I could barely get the lid on it. And now it's cooked down quite a bit. It's pretty juicy. So I'm going to go ahead and just add the rest of my ingredients, and we're just going to let this cook pretty much the rest of the day, and then this evening I will go ahead and finish up this sauce. So this recipe is from Becky at Acre Homestead, and I'll go ahead and link that in the description box. So we've got our tomatoes, and we want to add to this 1 cup of lemon juice. Let's see how much I've got in this jar. I think I have quite a cup. Oh, almost 3/4 of a cup there. Then I'll add, oh goodness, from this new bottle. And we're adding this lemon juice partly because we're going to can some of this. Some of it I'm just going to leave in the refrigerator for Christmas Day, but some of it we're going to go ahead and can. So 1 cup of lemon juice. Then we need 2 tablespoons of oregano, 2 tablespoons of basil, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of salt. And then the recipe calls for 1 head of garlic minced. I don't have any fresh garlic, so I am using this pre-minced garlic from Walmart or wherever I got it. And I looked that up, and you need about 4 tablespoons is the equivalent of 1 head of garlic. I'm going to go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of garlic. Okay, so I'm just going to stir all those ingredients in to my tomatoes here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my lid back on just until all the tomatoes are kind of cooked down and I can kind of smash them. And then I will probably go ahead and blend it up just a little bit. And then I'll leave the lid off and let it keep cooking down, and then we'll give it a taste and see if we need to add anything else to it. Okay, this has been cooking down for a while now. I am going to go ahead and use my immersion blender to kind of blend this up a little bit. Alright, so I've got this fairly well blended up. It's going to take quite a bit of cooking down before it's ready. It's pretty thin. I did not peel my tomatoes or de-seed them before I started. So I may run this through my sauce master after a while and see if I can still fill some bigger tomato pieces in there. But I may run this through my sauce master so that I can get rid of some of those peels. So I decided I do not want to use my sauce master if I can help it. I like it, it is so messy. So what I'm going to do is run this through a strainer to get the seeds and any of the skins that are left. I was able to get quite a bit of the peel out using my immersion blender. So I'm just going to run it through this and let some of those seeds and things get strained out. I'm just going to use a wooden spoon to kind of, you guys can't see this. I'm just going to use a wooden spoon to kind of help all the liquid run through. So I don't want to lose all that good pulp, I just don't want the seeds. So I'll just keep kind of using the wooden spoon to work this through the sieve. And then when I think I've got all of it through there that I can get, I'll dump the seeds and whatever's left in my compost bucket. I went ahead and got a second bowl out because the level of juice in this bowl is getting close to my strainer, so I don't want it going back up in there and making it hard to drain. And I did turn this heat down on my roaster pan while I'm doing this because I don't want it to burn when the level is really low. Okay, that bowl is full, so hopefully I can get the rest of it in this other bowl. I think I probably can. There's not a whole lot left now. Great, let's see if I can pour the rest of this in here without, oh, maybe there's more than I thought there was. Oh, holy cow. Without making a mess. I'm not sure that's possible. Oh yeah, there's more than I realized. Nope, I still have just a little bit that will not fit. Okay, so there I've got the last of that in that strainer. I'm gonna go ahead and just rinse this out so I can get the last little bit of seeds out. I don't wanna leave these seeds after I've gone to all this work with the rest of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this bowl back in. There's that one. Turn this back up. And then I'll finish straining this last batch and then I'll dump this bowl in. And then we'll give it a taste and see what we think. I did go ahead and add a little bit of rosemary and a little bit of thyme and a little bit more salt earlier, but it probably needs some more flavor adjustment. All right, I got that last batch all strained. I'm gonna pour this back in the roasting pan. There we go. Clean up some of this where I splashed it everywhere. All right, now we're gonna get a spoon and give this a taste. Oh yeah, it's much better now. Okay. gonna add a little more basil. A little more oregano, and I think a little more salt. Maybe a little pepper too. Give that a stir. Run this blender really quick to mix in the seasoning that I just added. Clean spoon, let's try this again. It needs something, but I'm not sure what. It might need more garlic. So I'm going to add some garlic powder. Now that I've dirtied every spoon in my drawer tasting this. All right, one more time. I think that did it. That's really good. Okay. So now I'm gonna just leave the lid off because we want it to keep cooking down. We want it to reduce probably by about half so that it's thick enough for our actual pizza sauce. So I'll just come back and check on this. So for right now, I'll probably check on this every 45 minutes to an hour until it cooks down a little more, and then I'll check it more frequently, stir it up, make sure it's not burning. But the good thing about this roaster is that you can set the temperature and it will stay there. You don't have to watch it like you would if you had this pot on the stove. So I'm gonna let this go for a little bit and we'll check it again in about 45 minutes. Okay, so the sauce is still cooking down. I did just add a jar of tomato paste to that to help it get thicker a little faster. And while that's cooking down some more, I'm going to go ahead and cook my breakfast sausage. So I have a, what size is this? I didn't look before I started squeezing it. So this is a 2-pound package. So after I cook this breakfast sausage, I'm going to put it in the colander to go ahead and drain the grease out. And then I'm going to cook the Italian sausage. The Italian sausage is going to be one of the toppings for our pizza that we're going to have on Christmas Day. So this is starting to get some really nice color on the sausage crumbles. So I'm just going to keep doing this for a little bit until I feel like enough of it is browned that it will be really good in the gravy. All right, so we're almost there. I just want to get a little more brown on that. Okay. So now I'm going to actually transfer this to this Dutch oven because the skillet is not going to hold everything. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that extra grease. We wanted to leave about a tablespoon, and that's probably about a tablespoon or so. To this, we are going to add 6 tablespoons of butter, and we want to, oops, turn the heat back on, and I'm going to stir this until the butter's all melted. All right, so our butter's just about melted. Now we are going to take 1 cup of flour, a half a cup of flour, and we are going to sprinkle this over our sausage. And we're going to stir this into our sausage and butter mixture, and we're going to let this cook for several minutes. We want to make sure that that flour, that raw flour taste cooks out, and it's going to start looking really golden. Great. So now we're going to add 6 cups of milk. And then we are just going to stir this until it starts to thicken. This could take about 5 to 10 minutes. And you don't have to stir it constantly. You just want to keep stirring it a little bit so that it doesn't burn to the bottom of your pan. The recipe actually called for whole milk. All I have is 2%, so that's what I used. I'm sure it will be fine. I thought I had some cream. I was going to go ahead and add the little bit of cream that I had, but I must have used it. And I can tell it's starting to thicken up now. It looks really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little taste test of this. And it definitely needs some salt and pepper. This is getting really thick now, so I went ahead and turned my heat off, but I have an electric stove, so it will stay hot for quite a little while. All right, clean spoon, whoops. Clean spoon, I'm gonna taste this again since I added the salt and pepper. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. That was all it needed. So now I'm going to put this in a bowl. Actually, I'm going to let it cool a little bit here in the pan. Then I'm going to put it in a bowl, let it finish cooling, and then I'll store it in the refrigerator until Christmas. And then on Christmas morning, I can start warming that gravy back up while the biscuits are baking, and then while I'm making eggs and whatever else I'm going to make. So now I'm going to go ahead and cook up the Italian sausage for our pizza topping that we'll be having for lunch on Christmas. So for our pizza on Sunday, I'm going to have the Italian sausage, got some pepperoni, obviously I have cheese, I've got some sliced mushrooms, which I don't like, but my husband does, and we can put some tomato on there. The kids also like banana peppers on theirs. I do too, honestly. So we can put banana peppers on ours if we want. So we'll have a pretty good selection of toppings that we can put on our pizzas. And, you know, just cheese if that's all the kids want. The grandkids. Pizza sauce here is taking forever to cook down and get thick. I thought I had another jar of tomato paste, but I can't find it. So either the one I found is the one that I was thinking about, or I used it, or it's hidden. Okay, our sauce is finally thick enough to go ahead and can up. I actually let it cook all night on low and then warmed it back up this morning, and it's been cooking for a couple of hours, and it's pretty thick now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill a quart jar to save for Christmas Day. We won't use a whole quart, but then we'll have it for later. And then I'm going to use some pint jars that I'm going to can up. And I washed these jars yesterday, but then because they sat in the dishwasher all night, they were cold. So I did run some hot water and just fill them up with hot water, and just so the jars were warm, because I don't want to put hot sauce in a cold jar, because that's how you get breakage. So these pints I'm going to can. So we want to fill these up and leave a ½ inch of headspace. one, and then I'll go get some more jars out of my storage and get those filled as well. So my candy jar storage is in my garage, and it has been super cold here the last couple of days. I think pretty much the same way it's been across most of the states. We had a wind chill yesterday morning of about -27, and I don't know what it is today. I think it was supposed to be colder today, but my garage is freezing, so these jars were fogging up as I came in the house because they were so cold. So I definitely needed to warm those up. Oh, I might need another couple of jars. Alright, I do need, looks like 2 more jars. My poor husband's outside taking care of the animals and shoveling in this. Alright, so I'm going to wipe up, oops, all this sauce I spilled on the counter before I do anything else. Okay, so I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to wipe around the edges of all of my jars. I want to make sure that I don't have any sauce on the rims. Anything that will prevent a good seal, because we don't want to waste any of this after all this work. Wipe all these really well. Most of them are okay, it's just the ones where I spilled. And then we're going to put a new lid, and then we'll put a candy ring on there. And then we're going to water bath can these. That was why we added the lemon juice. We're going to water bath can these for 35 minutes. And the pizza sauce that we're actually going to use on Christmas, I'm just going to use an old lid and a ring, and just once that cools a little bit more, I'm just going to put it in the fridge. But I will, of course, use new rings on anything that I'm going to can. And I need to go get one more regular mouth lid for my little jelly jar. So we ended up with 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half pints of pizza sauce. This was supposed to make 8. But I didn't really measure the tomatoes, I just put in what I had, so I probably had more tomatoes, which is part of the reason it took longer to cook down. So I'm going to get those in the canner. But I'm going to go ahead and finish out for today. So I've got our pizza sauce, the Italian sausage for our pizza, our delicious sausage gravy that we've got for breakfast. So now I've pretty much got everything ready for the meals for Christmas Day. Our biscuits that we made a few weeks ago are in the freezer. I can cook those straight from frozen. While those are baking, I can warm up the sausage gravy. I've got our pizza sauce and Italian sausage for our pizza. Everything else is just toppings that are in the refrigerator or in a can already. And now we'll be set for Christmas Day. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate the time that you spend with me. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Thanks guys. See you on the next video.